Hey guys, this is Merrick. Welcome to another speed paint video. So this artwork I'll be talking about today is one that I made during Art Fight 2023. I've got quite a lot to go through today, so we'll start off with how this was my first time getting back into Art Fight since 2018. Yep, 2018. That was around 4 years ago. It's kind of crazy how long it took me to get back into Art Fight, but I guess it just wasn't my time. This year's Art Fight theme was vampires versus werewolves. I know for some people the logical side they'd choose would be vampires, and maybe for me you'd even guess that. Like, just look at my older work. I literally have drawn vampires before. Unfortunately, Liam from Monster Prom was the only exception because I've always been a werewolf girly. So this year I choose to be on Team Werewolves. By the time I'm posting this, Art Fight has already finished and the winner has already been announced. I guess Team Vampires took an L this year. Go Team Werewolves, I guess. Oh, and my sister was also on Team Vampires, so she lost too. Also, I don't really care which team necessarily won, I just joined for the fun of it. So, back to the artwork at hand. This is actually the piece that got me the most points. A grand total of 126.75 points. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little last minute, but I knew I really wanted to draw these characters together, even if it was just a sketch. Considering I drew my OC and also other people's OCs, I guess I should introduce them. The funnest part was that they're all One Piece OCs. So the girl featured here is Mary. She's currently the only One Piece character I have, but I do plan on making a couple more, though I'm not exactly sure when I'll have that finished. Also, keep in mind some stuff I'm still working on, but here's what I got so far. Mary uses she/her pronouns. She's around 26 to 27 years old. I never really ended up choosing an exact age for her, but that's just kind of the range I ended up going with. She's also bisexual. Now, the interesting thing about Mary is that she has a second secret identity. She's a rising singer, which means she has to juggle her life of piracy along with this one. How does she do it? I don't know. I could barely keep up with 2 different social medias. So, her second identity is actually under the name Esther Rose. I forgot to mention that. Mary has eaten the sugar fruit, which is categorized as a special paramecia type devil fruit. I haven't depicted it in action yet, but hopefully the opportunity will arise. Her personality leans more towards the serious side due to having gone through tons of hardships in the past. She's a very capable and tough woman though. My favorite thing about her design is probably her coat. It has these little compañeros stars on it that act as buttons. I think there should be more body type characters in general, so that's also one thing I wanted for sure when designing her. Her spear was a little more challenging to come up with and settle on since I did have a lot of ideas for it. The type of spear I ended up going with is kind of like a glaive, the one more suited to her style. The whites of her hair are part of a rare genetic disease. If you know One Piece very well, you can probably guess what disease that is, which is amber lead poisoning. I haven't hashed out this part of her lore yet, but basically one or both of her parents are descendants of Flebans. I also haven't really decided which parent, but for now, just assume both. Mary herself isn't actually sick, thus why I mentioned she has a mutation of amber lead poisoning. So far, she's the only case. So, the other characters featured here are... Also, I am so sorry if I am mispronouncing the usernames, but the other characters featured here are Miuyev's OC Marin and Lil Marimo's OC Babylon. I love their designs so much, and honestly, they're artists I've already been following, so the moment Art Fight started, I definitely wanted to draw their One Piece OCs. So I'm going based off of the information the artists put out on Art Fight since these aren't my characters and thought it best to quickly summarize each of them. If you want to know more about them, I highly suggest you check out the artists. Babylon is Lil Marimo's OC, and their character is from Shandoria. He becomes property of a celestial dragon but manages to escape. His first adventure takes him back to Skypiea to find and reunite with his people. I just love Babylon, and their design is just so good. I also personally haven't seen a lot of OCs based on or from Skypiea or Shandoria, so it is pretty cool to see. Marin is Miuyev's OC, and their character is a half-porcupine fisherman who was once on Whitebeard's crew. He's also a big guy whose height can range from human to 17 feet. He's laid back but reliable. I often see Miu drawing Marin with Katakuri, and you can just see how much they love both of them through their art. It's so good, and it just makes me think I definitely need to start doing a lot more with my own characters. I thought I should also briefly mention whatever the heck was going on with our fight right near the end of the event. So there was a lot going on behind the scenes, I guess, and I personally don't want to get too much into it since it's kind of been resolved. So yeah, there was a bit of a panic somewhat near the end of Art Fight. Specifically, there was a fallout between the mods and the, I guess, founder, the head of Art Fight. Screenshots were being shared on Twitter about it, and I remember seeing it on my timeline. And bro, when I saw that post by Greaser Mutt, I was so bummed out because that was when I was planning out my last 2 art attacks. I was getting all anxious about it because I was worried what was gonna happen with Art Fight, especially this news being all too close to the end of the event itself. In the end, however, Greaser Mutt ended up giving an update that Takaya stepped down and Art Fight was going to be owned by Axel and Turtle. So, all in all, pretty positive news. I haven't really checked up on the situation to see what else has been done since there'll be another event before the end of this year. though I think that usually takes place in the Art Fight Discord server, which I'm not a part of. During this time, I also saw some posts being shared around saying stuff like, "Hey guys, even though there is quite a bit of drama happening within Art Fight right now, please keep posting your art attacks. It'll help show that these mods are needed." And you know, I did as they said anyways, because I wanted to do my part. I also knew they weren't gonna shut down Art Fight right at the last minute either. So yeah, I ended up doing that chibi in the top right corner of my canvas. And I ended up finishing this trio of chibis right before our fight was going to end. I finished it at like around 2 a.m. Yeah, it's been a long time since I stayed up that long trying to finish up a drawing. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you so much. I'm still trying to get comfortable with all this PNG tuber stuff, and coming back to YouTube after such a long time. I'm just honestly really excited to share my art with all of you once again here on YouTube, so thank you for that, and thank you for watching. Hopefully there will be another art fight, and hopefully I have time to participate in it, since I do like art gifting and showing my appreciation for other artists' original characters. As always, you can find me on my Instagram, Twitter, and honestly I feel like at this point a lot of people are kind of refusing to call Twitter X now. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter and my Tumblr, though my Instagram will always be my main. So if anything, you could get the quickest updates there. All my socials are at Marumenkai. And with that, I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Hope you enjoyed the video as well.